Hello, my beautiful Aries. How are you? Welcome to my channel. This is Dawn from Dawn Williams Tarot. If you have placements in Sun, Moon, or Rising in the sign of Aries, this message may be for you, but keep in mind this is a general message, so not all the messages may resonate. So take what does resonate and leave what doesn't. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're all doing well. I'm doing good. Thank you. I just have a couple of messages. One is that Neptune has now gone direct as of December the 6th. So that was a very heavy energy. It was very slow. It was very like deep, methodical type of energy. So I feel like some of us will be feeling a little bit more relieved since Neptune has gone direct. We do have a 12/12 portal that's going to open. I don't have a lot of information about that as of yet. However, I do have information about Mercury going retrograde. Mercury goes retrograde on the 13th, December 13th, and it goes back direct on January 1st. So you have that length of period where communication may be affected. So it could be just miscommunication between conversations. It could be miscommunication because things got lost in the mail. It could be you're expecting some type of a communication from somewhere and somehow it doesn't get to you. There's glitches in emails, there's glitches in the internet, there's glitches that happen with internet providers or service providers of your phone and all of that kind of stuff. The other thing that it does affect is electronics. It affects mechanics as well, so things may break down. You might start seeing that you're having problems with your car or you're having problems. It's really strange how these things happen, but yeah, this is what how Mercury affects it. So also, if you're going to be traveling during this time, you're going to want to double check all of your details to make sure that you've got everything solidified. And then the date of travel, you want to make sure that you give yourself plenty of time because you have to realize that you are not the only person that this affects. It affects everyone because it's a planetary thing. So just give yourself extra time to get to the airport. Don't try to rush things because then you're going to feel like you're putting yourself under the gun. And that's all that Mercury retrograde energy. Okay. So how I'm going to do your reading today is I'm going to pull a card from an oracle deck. I'm going to do your reading, and then at the end, I'm going to do your 5 main things. Okay, so without any further ado, I'm going to get started. Okay, and your card is number 21, and it says, First Breath, Beginner's Mind. I don't really know the intention behind this, so I am going to look this up in the book and see what the intention is behind this card. Okay. So here's your card. First breath is a fresh start and renewed curiosity. It's a natural trust and a beginner's mind. When the first breath card shows up for you, it is time to leave the old stories and tales behind. You have arrived. Take a deep breath and another. There is nothing else you need to do, but take in the new world that is revealing itself around you and trust your natural curiosity. Do not squander the power of the first breath, giving the old narrative mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Use it for new beginnings to animate a world you can play and create in. Do not underestimate the power of your breath and the magic of the word. It's really interesting because as I'm becoming more and more aware of words, how they affect us, and how they can weave stories and tales, right? I just find the whole thing very interesting. So this card is basically stating that you need to stop. You need to stop sharing the same old, stories, especially if they're like, I have plenty of those myself. And some of them make you sound like you're quite, like a victim. And in reality, that's really not always the case. I mean, you might have felt that way in the moment at the time, but as you work through it and you realize that you truly are okay, Spirit has been telling me you got to let the stuff go. You can't keep hanging on to it because it's really not healthy. And really all it does is it sits there and festers, right? And what it does also is it clogs up all your energy, clogs up your heart space so that you're not so willing to be so open, honest, and loving. Okay, so now I'm using a new deck. Well, it's not really a new deck. My daughter gave it to me for my birthday this year, and I'm a Taurus, so I got it in May. I haven't really used it for online readings. I use it typically for in-person readings because the imagery is just so striking, right? It really makes an impact when you're sitting across and you see these beautiful cards. But I'm going to use them for you today, Aries. I have shuffled and shuffled, and now I'm just going to split the deck. And I'm going to take your cards. Oh, and at the bottom of the deck, you've got the star card. So the star card is a card about so the star card is a card about walking your true path, and it's about aligning yourself with your true north, right? So I'm going to keep this card to the side, and I'm going to tell you more. So it really truly is about your long-term plans and goals and where you want to go, what you're trying to create. It is divinely guided. And your first column I've got is going to be what your strengths are. Your second column is what helping and healing. And your third column is about opportunities coming to you. And in your strengths, you have the Emperor card. Now, the Emperor card is the card. No, this is a major arcana card. This is your strength. So this is telling us that you are going to be very focused. You're going to step into your leadership role. You are going to this is a card of really stepping into your leadership role. I always look at the Emperor energy very similar to Donald Trump, not as when he was the president, but as a businessman, meaning he knew how to do the deal. He knew how to work with people. He knew how to get to work in conjunction with others. He knew how to attain the things that he wanted to attain. He's an individual who is an entrepreneur. He definitely is a go-getter. He really lights the fire under people's butts, right? So the Emperor energy he is the divine masculine energy. So if you're a female and you're listening to this and you're thinking, well, let me just tell you that you do have feminine and masculine energies within you. You might not be operating from that masculine side. You may be operating more from your feminine side, but believe me, you need both in order to be balanced and whole. So you may be finding that you're stepping into this very vibrant energy as one of your strengths this coming week, okay? And then that card is clarified by the Eight of Pentacles, which is the Eight of Coins in this deck. And that has to do with, this has to do with your job space, or this has to do with a skill set. Really putting your nose to the grindstone, really working hard. And Spirit is telling me that this doesn't just have to be work related. This could be in any job that you do. It could be even you as a mom just running a home, right? Because that takes a lot of skill. That takes a lot of patience and excuse me, takes a lot of patience and drive to just be a good mom and just take care of the home. It takes a lot of energy to do that. But the other thing this is about is really focusing on your skill set and really focusing on completing tasks. One of the things that this card also brings in is that you may have been working on a project for a while that you're very close to completion. And maybe by completing that project then brings in money, right? Brings in money for you to be able to create brand new projects. So this has to do with your physical security, just really concentrating on those things that are in front of you, right? So it's just kind of putting your nose to the grindstone, kind of an energy here for you. And then we have the Four of Cups. Now, the Four of Cups is a card of kind of the energy that I get from this card is that this person has completed the 3 cups that he's got. So he's got one in his hand, right? And he's got these other 2 cups here, but what he doesn't recognize is that there's another cup being offered to him. And I always look at this cup, the one that's being offered to him, as like the Ace of Cups. And of course, the cups have to do with our emotions. So he's looking for some kind of emotional stability, or he's looking at ways to soothe and communicate and soothe his heart in some way. Now, the thing about this card is because these 3 cups are empty, he's kind of looking at his losses and he's kind of a little bit bummed out. The other thing about this card is I have another deck that has a female on this very same card, and she looks like a younger person, and she's kind of looking off in the distance, and she kind of has this kind of a countenance to her, and she just reminds me of a brat, right? She just seems spoiled. She's not recognizing the gifts that are before her in that energy. And this guy's kind of sitting here. He's kind of looking at us like, yeah, well, yeah, what? So in this instance, I feel as though this energy is just kind of one of those ones, is to be appreciative of the things that you have. You know, that we all go through these times where we feel as though we do need a little bit more emotional stability. And I just feel like that's just kind of the energy that you might be hitting. It's a light energy. And not all of you may be feeling that either, but it is about emotional stability, or, you know, because 4s have to do with stability and have to do with balance. Okay, so this next column is what is helping or hindering you. And you've got the 7 of Wands, or the 7 of Pentacles here, the 7 of Coins. And the 7 of Coins is a card of evaluating. It's kind of like a card of stepping back and looking at your work, looking at all the effort that you put into something. It could be a project, could be your job, it could be, are you feeling, you're making assessments, you're making, you're really evaluating, is this work worth the reward? Now, the thing that I do see about this card, though, that is different than most of my other cards that I have, is that his coins are all surrounded as sunflowers. So the thing about sunflowers is sunflowers are always, their faces are always moving towards the sun, right? So he's looking for the sun to shine on him. And in this specific card, it truly is, isn't it? So this is just evaluating and making determinations. Are you where you want to be? Are you really thinking about changes for the 2024 year? Are there things that you would like to change? Maybe you want to change your job. Maybe you want to look for something new. Maybe you want to go work somewhere that you actually love what you're doing. Or maybe you want to go work for people that you have more commonality with, that you don't feel as though you're isolated, or that as a team player that your efforts are really appreciated. And then we have the 4 of Swords. This card right here does remind me that you are in a place of needing some rest. This right here is a card of, you know, really working hard. And I'm going to say that you're not the only sign that has gotten this. I think 3 other signs have also gotten this card. I feel like we are all kind of tired of the litany of information that's being released, you know, all the stuff about, you know, there's so many things that we could be discussing right now, but it's just the constant barrage of information that's coming at us that is really meant to inundate us and to confuse us and to recognize that there have been a lot of lies that have been shared, and that we have accepted as truth because we trust, right? We trusted the people that we thought had our backs, and in reality, they really don't. This card right here, though, really speaks to me about the need of needing rest, but it's also kind of this card is also a card of that there's some kind of a hidden story or hidden communication that has not been divulged to you yet. So you might be expecting something to come in, something that you were unaware of that is kind of a surprise to you. And I feel like it's more from somebody close to you than it is from, the news or the media or any of those things. I feel like it's something that's very close and personal to you. Then we have the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups. Now, this is kind of an interesting card when you look at it, because in this is a very good depiction of what I mean when I say being spoiled for choice, and be careful of the cup you choose. Because if you look at this cup, it's got all these baubles and jewels, right? Well, this cup is full of snakes. I don't want snakes. This cup's got a fire-breathing dragon. This cup looks like it's got a little cherub in there. This one's got a castle, right? This castle right here. That's like, ooh. This card right here is the card of illusion. So one of the things that I do want to share about illusion is because I was in meditation earlier this week before I started this round of readings, and Spirit was sharing with me about illusion and what illusions truly mean, and how part of my process of as I'm walking my path is that I need to be mindful of where I speak my words or speak to myself in my own mind, and I build things up that are not really honest and true. So that's kind of an illusion. Where is it that you elude yourself? Where is it that you, and I've always was taught when I was younger, as I was learning about manifestation, that you just keep telling yourself these things until they materialize, right? You just say, I am happy, I am whole, I am loved, and I am whatever it is, until it got there. Like you faked it till you made it. And Spirit is telling me, no, that's really not what you do. So I'm looking at all of that myself. So the illusions are there. And so kind of what I'm feeling is, where is it in your own life that there are things that you really need to look at your beliefs, or you really need to look at yourself as to what are the stories? What are the stories that you tell yourself? What are the stories that you really need to let go of that keep you in your old energy? Because we are moving forward. We're moving into new energy. More and more light is being brought in from our sun. We're getting smashed with all of these flares. And how does that affect us? It actually does raise our vibratory levels. It changes our physical beings, changes the way that we think, changes our communication with one another. It really just enhances all of the hidden things. And that's kind of what this card to me represents. Now, the other thing about sevens, as this is your second seven card, do you have any others? No. Is that you actually have 3 6s as well. What is that? I forget what they call that in cards. When you get 3 of a kind, 2 of another kind, instead of flesh or house, or I don't know, I can't remember. But anyway, this 7. Oh yeah, so sevens are about experience, gaining experience, attaining more experience. And this is kind of what this card is about, really using your discernment. And I'm going to say that one of the things that Spirit keeps telling me is that really to really start working with your discernment, really working with that part of you that can give you those answers, because a lot of information that's going to be coming to us that are going to break down our old paradigms, break down our old ways of thinking, break down our belief systems that will be affecting everything moving forward, is that we've got to be able to discern. So this is kind of that cautionary card for me now that says really use your discernment. And when you decide to choose whatever cup you're going to choose it from your heart space. Make sure it resonates with your heart. Okay. Okay. Next column has to do with your opportunities coming in. And you have the 5 of coins. 5 of coins, as you can see, this woman is outside. This is an old lady. She's outside looking in. And that's kind of the energy of this card, is feeling left out in the cold and wishing that someone would recognize you, come out and embrace you and invite you in, right? So feeling left out in the cold. Now, this could represent feeling left out in conversations, or feeling left out in family members getting together for the holidays, and you're invited, but you don't really feel like you want to go, that kind of energy. This card right here, though, is also a card of not drawing attention to your weaknesses, right? So the coins have to do with money. So let's say fives also have to do with change. So it could be a thing where you're going to have a change in your financial condition, hopefully for the better. Or it could represent that you're going to have a change in career. So if that's the case and you're going for an interview, don't focus on the things you don't know how to do. Focus on your strengths and make sure that you champion yourself positively in that way. Then we have the 9 of Wands. The 9 of Wands and the 7 of Wands. The 7 of Wands is standing up for yourself. The 9 of Wands is the wounded warrior. Now, as this is an opportunity for you, I think this is telling us that you may have been feeling as though you've been the wounded warrior, but I feel as though you've overcome that energy, right? That you're recognizing that you're very close to your completion, and that you will be harvesting the reward of all this hard work. So this is telling you, keep persevering, keep moving forward. You're doing just fine. And the 7 is represented, as I said, as defending yourself in some kind of a situation. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to get not defending yourself with, with wands or with swords. It's more of a thing where you're really standing in your personal power. To me, it's a very powerful card, because a lot of times we have a tendency to allow others to have their say, or to have others just think that they are winning the battle, right? Even if it's just a communication battle. But in this situation, this is really stepping into your sovereignty, really stepping into who you are. And it doesn't have to be in a mean way. It's just kind of like, no, I just don't accept that. I mean, you can do it in such a commanding but quiet, gentle way. It's kind of that inner strength card, right? That's inner strength energy. But that's kind of what this means. And then again, the 7s have to do with gaining experience. So it looks like you're having a lot of opportunities with some fire and some passion that's going to be coming in. It's going to be really lighting you up. And those cards actually do represent you and your energy, Aries. Okay, let's see. And then you also have the star card as your final message. And of course, the star card is really saying that you are walking your path, that you are being recognized by the God source, by the universe, that you are really truly working on walking in alignment with your true north. The star card is also energy of being very optimistic, being very blessed, right? This is a blessing card as well. What else? Oh, that's about it. Okay. Okay, so now, Aries, I'm going to pull your 5 main themes. If you made it this far, I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. I just hit 400 subscribers on YouTube, and I'm still stuck at like 27 subscribers on BitChute. So BitChute people, step up. I see you're watching my videos. Please just like and subscribe. Okay, here we go. First card is ear. Good news. Good news is coming. We like that. Tulip. Great passion. So that's definitely your energy, right? Because that's very much fiery energy. Passion. Dogs getting together with friends. That's lovely because that is the season, right? 'Tis the season. Lobster. Ooh, financial pinch. I think we all feel the financial pinch, to be honest with you. It's not just you, Aries, because we've been hit really hard with this inflation stuff. Gotta love Biden economics or whatever. It's Bidenomics. Okay, younger man, dealing or relationship. Dealings or relationship with the younger man. I don't see a love. I'm going to clarify that card. A deep personal strength and peace that assures success. I don't know. Okay, there you go. Aries, thank you so much for being here. I love your energy. I love watching and listening and reading. That's the word. Reading your comments. So until next time, take very good care of you and enjoy your week. Cheers.